Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, social media, or website. Reach out to me directly. It's in the description below, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a 2018 launch from SIHH. This is the Panerai Luminor Due 3 Days GMT Power Reserve PAM00944, part of the thinner, finer, and more elegant Luminor Due family. This is a timepiece of stainless steel that is 45 millimeters in diameter by 13.6 millimeters thick by 52.5 millimeters lug-to-lug, with the spacing between the lugs of 24 millimeters. Throw it on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference, and it's a big watch, but it's not a huge watch. It doesn't wear like you'd expect a 45, and I could see this wearing well on a wrist as small as 14.5 centimeters circumference. It's thin for a Panerai, especially an automatic Panerai, and you can see that a big portion of that thickness is the box section sapphire that's designed to evoke a plexiglass, so the watch itself is even thinner and easier to slide underneath a dress cuff. And with the Due, that is apropos treatment of the timepiece. This is not a hardcore sports watch. This is more like an elegant all-arounder that can be your dress watch, and that's reinforced by the use of large rectangular scale alligator leather rather than textile, rubber, or calfskin, which are more common on Panerai watches. It's a dark brown gloss finish. You could see that there is a contrasting stitch designed to match the ecru style simulated patina of the dial. In profile, it's a folded edge, even though it is thick leather, and you can see it's calfskin on the underside, a brand new Panerai factory strap. Simple, pared down, polished stainless steel pin buckle for quick adjustments. It is the Luminor Due case, which is basically a way of saying it's a thinner and finer version of the 1950 case. In terms of actual case lines, it looks like the 1950 that debuted in modern Panerai watches back in 2002, and which historically recalls the original Panerai 6152 combat watch of the 50s. The device protecting the crown is present and correct, a locking lever. It allows you to immediately wind the watch, pull the crown out, note the 0 reset second system, and now you can set the watch. It is a dual time timepiece, and I'll explain how that works in a moment. But the timepiece is designed to give you a broad array of flexibility with all aspect protection. Note, compared to shouldered crown guards, you don't have any chance of hitting the crown in a direction parallel to the stem. And the idea behind the original compression system, the locking lever, was that you would not have to screw the crown in and out of its seals. As a result, you are not going to wear down the crown seal. So that's the original idea. It's also hard to jump in the water with a crown unlocked like that. Also, it's iconic. You know exactly what watch that is just by looking at the crown profile. Now, the dial. It is a silver sunburst that is gorgeous. You can see there's a lot going on. This is not your typical Panerai, though it does feature typical Panerai dial construction. It is a sandwich dial with a stencil on top of a fully loomed base. That's why all of these wells for the numerals and the indices have so much depth. This is historic construction fashion that's been resurrected in modern day Panerai watches. It recalls their heritage pieces from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Now you have an AM/PM indicator that's coaxial with the seconds hand, and you have a second time zone. It's a little triangular index on the dial. So while it moves in 12-hour circuits, you can see how it's connected to a small index that will let you know whether you're looking at, for example, 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. And you can see that the index is on the PM side, so it is now in the second time zone, 1 p.m. Okay, roll that out of the way. I want to show you another feature that makes this watch particularly appealing, and that is the fact that you can cover up that second hour. If you don't need a second time zone, you can superimpose the 2-hour hands, and now you can basically just ignore the AM/PM or treat it as AM/PM for your local time. Once again, I want to emphasize that the watch does feature a very cool 0 reset system. So not only does it have hacking seconds, but if you watch the seconds hand, when I pull the crown, it jumps back to 60, which makes it easier to set it against a reference time. 3-day power reserve, 2 mainspring barrels. You've got a date that's driven by the motion of the local hour hand, and you can see how I'm able to drive the date forward or backwards as I travel. The watch, of course, features a Panerai manufacturer caliber 4002, which is based on the 4000 automatic. Twin mainspring barrels, they are stacked. You have a micro rotor system that keeps the watch thin and also opens the display case back for easy viewing. The 31 joule movement has the 3-day power reserve, and it beats away at a modern high beat rate of 28,800 vibrations per hour. It's also very shock resistant with a full balance bridge and a free sprung index. It's 30 meters water resistant, so with the locking crown, that's at best surface swimming. I wouldn't take the watch for deep submergence or risk diving with it, but then again, this is a Luminor Due, so it is not necessarily the most aggressive sporting watch in the collection. Like the movement, it's designed to be uncommonly fine, graceful, and versatile for a Panerai timepiece. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And I'm back with the Panerai Luminor Due by night, fully loomed dial.